Welcome to a whole new episode of Headlines Tripura and Base Bars 24/7, where we mean business. It will be simultaneously telecast on Calcalling TV and Calcalling National as well. Today we have with us Mr. Anish Agarwal, this co-founder and CEO of Tablt Pharmacy. From the name itself, you can make out what kind of business he is into. But pharmacy per se has undergone sea changes over the years. Now, when we talk about pharmacy, it has been a paradigm shift actually. So, as we talk today, you must have seen an evolution over the years how the pharmaceutical industry has undergone changes. And last 2 years in particular, we have gone through a kind of a challenging period, challenging times. But at the same time, pharmaceuticals or online pharmacy in particular is one of the industries which has got boosted post pandemic. So, what is your take on that?
So first of all, thank you Ritikda for having me. And from a pharmacy perspective, yes, last 2 years since the COVID lockdowns, things have moved very fast in terms of customer adoption of newer pharmacy models. The customer has become more aware of how and where to buy their pharmacy needs from, and in fact this is an opportunity which was encashed by a lot of pharmacy players like us, where we definitely pushed our brand more, as this was once in a lifetime moment for modern pharmacy channels like us to get onto customers mindset and have a share of the entire pie. So not only the online channel of business, but also tele channel of business has taken a very strong output throughput due to the COVID tailwind. Yeah, so we have definitely seen a very large push. So for example, if we were at, let's say, 100 basis points of business before COVID, by the time 2020 ended, the business was at 330 basis points. So that's 2.3 times jump in overall business within 3 quarters of a single year. That reflects the pace at which this thing was taken up.
In value terms, how big would be this online pharmacy market overall in the country?
So, of the total pharmacy market right now, which is close to 2 lakh crores, the online pharmacy market is anywhere close to 5,000 crores. So that would be 2.5% of the overall pharmacy market. In terms of modern pharmacies, which also has a large share, they have another 7.5% of the total pharmacy market. Therefore, the total modern pharmacy business is 10% of the total 2 lakh crore pie. The remaining is distributed between 8 lakh retail chemists of India, which has been the traditional model.
Yeah. And in terms of growth rate, what would be the growth rate for modern pharmacy?
So modern pharmacy is growing fast. According to Technopack report, modern pharmacy in the next 4 years will grow at a CAGR of 27%. So that's pretty fast in terms of growth rates. And out of modern pharmacy, e-pharmacies will be growing much faster, and that would have a growth rate closer to a 40-45% of CAGR. So that is where we as a omni-channel phygital pharmacy really look to encash, especially in the Eastern Belt, as Eastern Belt is the most least penetrated in terms of modern pharmacies and various newer channels of doing business.
So when you say phygital, there is a physical part of it as well. So how do you, I mean,
So Tablet Pharmacy has 450 as of today, 450 plus community partners. Now these are village and town level entrepreneurs who have asset light, touch points or smart points where the customers engages, takes advice, and ultimately those are the partners who delivers to the customers. So it is that last mile touch that we have which makes us stand apart from any other online pharmacies that you generally hear of, because we are a semi-urban and rural focused pharmacy, and the objective is to alleviate their challenges. But we strongly felt through our research and through our experiences that online only medium, through only online only medium, we will not be able to capture a large enough customer base and therefore not create value for a lot of people. So we went for an omni-channel model, phygital model, where we have 450 last mile partners. We have a 24/7 vernacular customer care. So in fact, about our customer care, if I say 10% of our customers who are above the age of 70, 10% of our customers are above the age of 70, and they actually directly transact via our call center when they need to buy a medicine. That is the impact that we wanted to create when we set out, that these people are no more dependent on their children who have now moved out in different towns to do their job, etc. And the third channel obviously is the online app channel, which is also multi-vernacular. So you can download the Bengali version or the Odia version or the Hindi version to place your medicine orders with us. So this is what works in smaller towns, and we have been focusing upon in Eastern India.
so that makes you different from other so-called omni-channel or online pharmacy?
Yes,
because your penetration is more into, deep down or into rural areas, tier 3, tier 4 areas.
Yes, so market wise, one, we focus on the eastern part of the country, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, looking forward into Assam, etc., northeastern states. And second, within this we focus on smaller towns, because this is where those people really need their medicines to become affordable. And those people need a very, very convenient form of communication. Many senior aged people, what do we see? That when we look at our parents, etc., we see that they are transacting on WhatsApp, they are transacting on Facebook. But at the same time, if you ask them to go for a complex e-commerce transaction, that would be a very big challenge for them. To select the product, to increase the number, to select the exact SKU, to go to the search bar. At the same time, our company has done it in a way by bringing in Bengali and Hindi and Odia interfaces. So that has become easier for the customer. But many customers still insist upon calling the agent at the call center and placing business. So therefore we are omni-channel across multi-channels, and we believe this is the reason that in the last 3 years we have been able to serve more than 1.5 lakh customers, and on a regular basis. So once a customer comes with us, the kind of convenience he finds, they tend to stick around. We have a decent retention rate, and that is what we set out to do actually.
So in your business, one challenge was to go, so deeper into the society, and at the same time, as you rightly pointed out, you have customers who are above 70 years, who may not be too familiar with this thing. So did you have to train or do some kind of hand holding for those customers as well, or?
So when those customers call us, that is hand holding, right?
Right.
Otherwise, they could only go to an app and place an order. Calling us, discussing with our pharmacist about their needs, what is their medicine, sharing the prescription, that needs hand holding. So that is
Which
what we
means
call assisted
next time
e-commerce.
they don't have to call you.
Next time they don't have to reshare the prescription, but definitely if they want to place an order, it's a the number is a simple one, 908-908-5252, and they can just, they have that number saved, they can just call and say ki, please repeat my order. Or even on our app, with a single click, they can repeat the order. So, because many a times they also change the medicines. Therefore, we do not send them without asking them first, or unless it is on demand. But it's a very simple exercise
So
for
you
them.
keep that previous prescription.
Yes. We keep the earlier prescription. We have the data for all the earlier orders. So that really helps the customer to have the transaction in a very, very fast way with us, without investing a lot of time.
Given the growth that online pharmacy is going through, even the brick and mortar pharmacies, they are getting into those home delivery models. Not the way you do it, but they are doing it. So, is it some kind of a challenge to your growth, or
I think this is good. I think first and foremost, the pharmacy industry is for customers, and obviously as a impact of that, there would be competition. But having said that, I think it's about identifying newer channels, and I think a lot of brick and mortar pharmacies are identifying that there is a percentage of customers which is focused on convenience, experience, and want to probably transact through modern channels. So I think that is good for the industry. At the same time, considering that the kind of economies of scale that we have, and the kind of technology we use to learn from various data cohorts that we have, customer behavior that we have, I think it's a very healthy competition, and we are seeing that the overall market is growing at a fast pace. So I think some of the brick and mortar pharmacies who would be quick enough to make that changes would be relevant, the others would become irrelevant.
So they will have to embrace these changes.
They should, and some of them are. And I think the market is large enough for many of the larger players like us and some of the smaller e-pharmacies locally to coexist. Because there are 8 lakh chemist shops in India. Obviously, a significant portion of the market share in a few upcoming years. So, for example, as I told you, 10% of the overall pharmacy market in India is already with modern pharmacies. Whether it be a retail chain pharmacy or it be a e-commerce pharmacy. I think this is set to grow at a fast pace, but still there is going to be enough meat in there for local pharmacies, especially considering that there are 2 types of medications that are needed for a customer. One is acute medication, which is if you have fever, you would want to immediately go to a pharmacy and get your medicine. You would not want to wait for an e-pharmacy, right? And then there are chronic medicines which you would take every month. E-pharmacies mostly solve the problems of chronic medication for diabetes, for asthma, for chronic conditions like
BPs,
blood pressure, neuro, etc. Whereas in the longer run, these brick and mortar pharmacies will be, service will be taken by customers needing immediate medicines, antibiotics, etc. So there is a need, demand, and value proposition for all the guys. Yes.
So in how many cities are you present as of now?
So as I told you, in every city where we are present or town where we are present, we have a community partner. So subsequently, we are present in 450 towns across East India.
And going forward, what is the plan like? Maybe across India you are already present.
No, East India.
East India.
Right now, we are very focused, Ritikda, on East India. I think this is where a service like ours is really required by the customer, and we are very happy in the way customers have already accepted us. The growth that we have seen on a year-on-year basis or on a quarter-on-quarter basis has been so encouraging for us. And East India is still a very, very large market. It's a $4 billion pharmacy market. That would amount to 30,000 crores of pharmacy market by 2025, and I think
So
that's a large
physical
enough.
and online put together.
Yes, and companies like ours stand a good chance to have a good market share of this pie of $4 billion. So I think right now our focus lies very strongly on East, especially now that we already have a very strong infrastructure in place. Now that we already have a strong brand presence in place, people know us, people appreciate us. So this is our first go-to opportunity, and there are far more deeper problems in East India that needs to be solved. Problems like people travel to South India, those problems need to be solved and aided. Diagnostics is a very important area. Doctor consultations is also a very important area. The ratio is very poor in East India when it comes to doctor to patients. So these are some of the areas that we as a healthcare business are will be looking into in the upcoming times, and create a very strong healthcare ecosystem which has been lacking for a very long time in East India.
So you will eventually get into those areas as well, the other areas of healthcare. For
Yes, it's anything but natural, because a customer orders 18 to 20 times every year with a company like us. So the kind of relationship that we have with them on a regular basis is, the frequency is very high, and we tend to understand a lot of challenges that they already face. So once we have certain benchmarks, once we achieve those benchmarks in the context of our pharmacy business, you will definitely see Tablet moving into other healthcare spaces and creating a very strong ecosystem of services, healthcare ecosystem services.
many people would also like to know, like, what is the supply chain management like? How do you source your product? Do you keep some inventory, or once you have the order, get the order, then you source those products? Or
We have one of the most successful inventory management systems across the pharmacy industry. Without getting into numbers, let me just highlight that we have we hold thousands and thousands of medicines at our warehouse. That would be on the north of 15,000 medicines at multiple centers across East India: Kolkata, Bokaro, Patna, Bhubaneswar. We are looking to open in Siliguri and some other strategic locations. So it's essential to hold inventory, as you need to ensure good serviceability. So when we hold inventory, we are able to immediately pack or process the order that we receive from the customer, and immediately within next day that gets delivered to the customer in a smaller town. One of the stronger reasons is that because we hold inventory. So that has so as a function of that, it could be highlighted that almost every time, if a customer would order a medicine with us, they would get it, and this is one of the biggest problems that we solve. Close to 95% plus orders are fully fulfilled. Every SKU, every unit of medicine ordered, every strip of medicine ordered, every time a customer orders with us. And that is the reason why in smaller towns, the customers, you should talk to some of our customers, why they love our service. Because when you go to a smaller shop, you will get irritated when you have to move to some other shop once again to buy medicine, then again get irritated when you move to another shop. This is one of the core problems that we are solving by a strong inventory management system.
actually, many of us face that problem. Buy one medicine from one particular shop, then go to another to buy another.
I think with the use of technology, we have a lot of data. We learn what are the trends, what are the seasonal trends, what are the town-wise trends, and that really aids us in having a very awesome inventory management system.
And how often do you keep that promise of delivery within 1 day or 24 hours? It's mostly fulfilled?
Yes. So we have an amazing track record of delivering within 1 day once we receive an order. There are definitely very small areas where we would take another day, where we don't have a local inventory presence. But even in those areas, we are getting up with our fulfillment centers, and the USP of our business is delivering within one day, right? And that is what customers get, and I think that is what they deserve to get also. Why wait for your medicines for 4 days to 7 days, get it from Chennai or Mumbai, when you can get it from a pharmacy which is East India based, and you can get it immediately.
That even within East India, if you travel from one place to another, different doctors prescribe different medicines
Yes.
for a particular disease.
Yes.
So you have to keep that in mind.
Yes. Yes. So we have all that data, right? Because customers in various areas and in all pin codes of East India have been ordering with us for a long time now. So we have the data, we analyze that data, and as a function of that, we keep similar inventory or same inventory that is ordered in, or that brand which is ordered in a certain area.
Same locality.
Yes.
And the other thing is, I mean, I should have started with these questions, but I have deliberately made it, upside down. How did your journey as an entrepreneur start? And linked to that would be, you are now creating some kind of an entrepreneurship model by inviting those community partners, as you are calling them. So what does it take to become your community partner? Okay. But that you can answer later. But first, how did your own journey as an entrepreneur start?
So yes, by birth I belong to a Marwadi business family. So we have seen business around us since birth, and as early as when I was 10 years old, I used to work alongside my father in his shop, helping him sell sarees and the other products that were there. So that exposure had a subconscious bearing on the long-term goals. And while I was doing my engineering, I started getting exposed to a lot of opportunities. For a long time, I was in the sales business, and I believe that sales is so close to entrepreneurship. It's almost similar, that I think I was destined for it. And in 2016, me and my co-founder Anand and Vivek, all of us, we came together and we saw that there is an opportunity, right? And it could be really exploited, and India is on the cusp of India is having its own entrepreneurial journey right now. The capital, as we are seeing, were flowing into the country, and there was a need for East to open up. So we said, fine, I think the stars are aligned. Let's jump into the ship. And I was always fond of entrepreneurship. So when I got an opportunity, I went for it.
And about creating.
So one, we have a territorial locking for every area. So if we do have some of the pin codes in Eastern India, we are still where we are looking for our community partners. I think if they are entrepreneurially inclined, they are looking forward to serve customers, are from at least a middle class background, and willing to engage with customers, advise them, deliver with them. They can come to our website and they can apply for a franchise with us. And then we have our business development team, which would talk to them, evaluate them on various parameters, and then finally we could go ahead with the relationship.
So recently you have raised Series A funding. How are you going to utilize those funding? Territorial expansion or for some other things?
Yeah, so just to add here, it was a pre-Series A round.
Pre-Series
A. And the idea behind that is to continue to do what we are doing right now, and continue to enter newer towns within East India instead of looking at other states. And we already have a set business model, and product market fit is in place. The idea is to ramp up our business with the pre-Series A. Obviously build some capabilities in terms of some senior hires, because as we are talking, scale is increasing on a quarter to quarter or a month on month basis. So some of the investments would definitely go towards technology, as every time we invest in technology, we see that the customer experience moves up, and obviously the economics of the company also improves. So these are the areas where we intend to utilize our funds, and maybe pre-fund to post-fund, the company can look at 2.5 times in terms of business growth. So that's the idea.
And one obvious question, it's always good to see your fine young bright entrepreneurs like you who could have opted out possibly out Bengal, but decided to stay back in Bengal and continue their entrepreneurial journey. So any particular reason for that other than Calcutta being your hometown?
So my hometown is actually Asansol,
Okay.
and I did my engineering from Calcutta. So to be honest, obviously that has a bearing both on a functional level and at an emotional level. But having said this, I think it's more about looking at the particular decision as an opportunity than as a challenge. I think we are living in a more globalized world now, where location is becoming more and more irrelevant as we are growing.
Geography is history
People
now.
from Kolkata or a small village in West Bengal are working for large companies in New York. So and vice versa, right? People from different countries with specific talents would be working for Indian companies. So I think it's less about the geography of where we set up a headquarters. In any case, Calcutta, we have seen now is developing a very thriving startup ecosystem, and we're seeing that on a regular basis. We are engaging with so many people. So many of our investors are from Calcutta. Our talent pool is from Calcutta, and people are coming into Calcutta to work here. So I think like any ecosystem or city or state which matures over a period of time, and the early movers have a lot of advantage. So we are trying to become that early mover here. And I must appreciate that till doing business for us, and whether it be West Bengal, whether it be Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, it has been good for us. So all kudos to the local administration, and we hope that we will soon do away with all the negative perception that generally East carries, and we at Tablet, along with so many other successful and upcoming successful ventures out of East India, I think the onus lies on us to ensure that we have a thriving ecosystem here. Look at what Zoho did for Chennai, right? And Chennai has a thriving ecosystem, and same is for Pune or Hyderabad or various other cities. So in fact,
Every
Kolkata
city has its own entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial ecosystem.
In fact, Kolkata is the money bag for India, I would say. A lot of VCs, in fact, raise a lot of money from businessmen in Kolkata. What we as startups need to do is ensure that a lot of that money is flowing back into Calcutta. Right, not just outside. Yeah.
And what could have been a better way of ending that on this spirited note? The name Tablet, as you all know, suggests it's are supposed to cure diseases.
Yeah.
So I sincerely hope that this Tablet Pharmacy would also cure this disease called a negative perceptions or negativity per se, and eventually the next time I am meeting Anish, we will get to hear many more interesting stories, many more exciting stories to share, and Tablet Pharmacy, let us all hope, will take Kolkata's entrepreneurial journey to a new height. Thanks, Etan.
Thanks, and I'd just like to end, Ritikda, with the fact that I think we are going to see multiple unicorns from the East in the next 5 years. We've already seen a very successful Manyavar IPO, and including Tablet, you'll see multiple companies coming up very strongly, and thereafter a very strong ecosystem would be developed here.
Very good. We all sincerely look forward to that.
Thank you, Ritik.
Thank you so much.